What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about PlayStation yet again, if maybe in December we actually might get something. So look, I've talked about this idea a couple different times, and look, there's been rumors about this for a while. None of them come from, like, people that you can just, like, a Tom Henderson type has not come out to say something like it yet, right? It comes from people that, it could be right, could be wrong, but over the last little while, it's made more and more sense that maybe there could be a state of play or a showcase or something in December, even though it's also the Game Awards, right? That's something you got to keep in mind. Well, there was a PS5 ad today, right, and live action, and in this ad, they show, like, a train station. There's, like, all the departing and arriving, things, and what you actually see at the top is 03/12/24. Now, you just kind of reverse, obviously, or it depends, I guess, where in the world that you are. December 3rd, okay? December 3rd. Now, December 3rd is the 30th anniversary, so it could very well just be a tease, or not even necessarily a tease, more like just showing you, hey, like, we respect that day, okay? That's one thing that it could be. The other thing is, okay, well, December 3rd, like, you could also do something on that day. In case you guys don't know, it's actually a Tuesday. Now, events happen on Tuesdays. I don't know if you're aware of that, but it feels like it's very possible. I mean, honestly, it's either going to be just a 30th anniversary, like a tweet that day, or, a blog post thanking people for, 30 years of service or whatever, or it's going to be like an actual, event. Now, a couple other things I want to throw out, though. Back in 2019, there was a state of play in December, right? So one of the main hang-ups, and even myself included, like, I've actually said this is kind of a hang-up too. You do something in December, you're going up against the Game Awards. Now, you could say, like, well, do they care? Well, like, the Game Awards is, like, honestly, the biggest thing in gaming. It really is. It's the biggest night. You have, what, like 100+ million people that watch it, whether it's live or afterwards. I mean, all eyes are on it. And PlayStation has done things at the Game Awards, right? And everybody does things at the Game Awards. So, if you're going to do some gigantic things, you would think that maybe you would do something there, right? Now, I believe the Game Awards is December 12th. So doing an event on December 3rd, like, you give yourself actually a week plus to be able to kind of do whatever you want. Maybe you can even double dip, right? You show all the things you want to show at your event, and then you show one or two things with Jeff Keighley, okay? Another thing to remember is back in 2019, December of 2019, there was actually a state of play. That was the 25th anniversary, and the 25th anniversary, I don't remember if that was, like, the theme of it. However, you can actually, I did this before I actually hit record on this video. I went back and watched it, okay? I watched the state of play from December 10th of 2019. So that wasn't the date, right? That wasn't December 3rd, but it was in December. And the 25th anniversary part is a part of the state of play. They were talking about it, but, I would say 20, maybe 19 minutes of the 22-minute video is not really about 25th anniversary. And, it's a pretty uneven event. Again, I can tell you that just from watching it, or watching it again. So they showed Kingdom Hearts Remind and gave a date. Predator Hunting Grounds and gave a date. Babylon's Fall. They showed off Resident Evil 3's remake. They showed Ghost of Tsushima as the final game. And they didn't give the date, but remember, this was like 6-7 months before the game eventually came out. So, like, it did have things. The rest of it, it's here and there. Like, there's some okay stuff, some not. But, they did do some pretty big, reveals that year. So that's kind of the thing to me, right? Where it's like, okay, and I guess this is kind of what I want to end with, right? If you're going to do this, then you need to do it big. And I do not want this 30th anniversary 20 minutes. I mean, I guess I know that's what that was, right? 22 minutes. But at the same time, if you're going to do a 30th anniversary and you're going to do 15, 20 minutes, and it's just going to be like middle of the road games. Look, I love games, big, small, in between. I play hundreds of games a year. I mean, I'll take them. But at the same time, I just feel based off of, look, we're in a different spot than we were in 2019, right? You could do a show that's kind of all over the place back then. I don't think people will go with you if you do that now, right? It's just been too many uneven shows or just bad shows from PlayStation, depending on which one you're talking about, right? So, I don't know. I think they need something really big. I think they need a showcase. I think if you were to do something on December 3rd, I would really love just a 40, 45-minute showcase. You show off 12 or so games, and you really freaking go for it. That's what I would want. the final thing to bring up, as people are also bringing up on Reddit, but I remember it very vividly as well. If you recall, PlayStation used to do PlayStation Experience. I thought it was an incredibly cool thing. I remember working at Home Depot at the time, and I watched it actually outside. I was a cashier in the garden section in the wintertime, like you sell Christmas trees. I was all alone. It was like 8 o'clock. It was very cold. You have the mini heater, and I would watch the PlayStation Experience. And I just always kind of dreamed of like going to one of those. It just was really, really cool. And I'm not necessarily to like rival Jeff Keighley, but just to have like in-person events. I do like in-person events. Like that's the one major thing with E3 that I think we've lost. I would love that. Now, I don't think that's what this is, but I think I'm just kind of bringing it up, number one, to reminisce, but number two, because they have done, not just December of 2019, but if you go back beyond that, where I think they stopped in 2018 with PlayStation Experience, they did a few of them, a couple of years, and they were really cool events. And you got some big stuff from those events just in general, but like it was a really, really cool thing. I wish they would bring that back. There's no way in hell that's ever going to happen, but I do think the willingness to do December, and by the way, like even when they did those PlayStation Experiences, that was still during the Game Awards. Now, it was more of like the infancy, right? This is the 10-year anniversary, I think, of the Game Awards, so they started in 2014. PlayStation Experience was a little bit after that, so I mean, they did overlap, so PlayStation has had experience going against, if you want to call it. I mean, it's not necessarily a competition, but, to take up like the mind space of people. PlayStation has gone up against the Game Awards like 3-4 times, right? That has happened. So hopefully something happens. I am rooting for it. I would cover it to death, so I definitely want it to be real. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.